Hello and welcome to Shh, Don't Tell My Mom, a web series produced by islandoftaboo.com. I am your host, Alexander Schettino, and this is Igor and Anita? Right? Alicia, and they are the owner-operators of Passion Products Store. Please tell us about your store.
So one day we faced the challenge to find devices that meet our aesthetic views. So we tried hundreds of leather whips and leather devices and came to the conclusion that the best pieces were handmade by masters who enjoy BDSM lifestyle themselves, who dedicated their lives to the art of whip making. So, and it was good luck to find such masters in Ukraine. We could discuss with them the specifics of design, the specifics of different kinds of leather, of different touches of leather, and so on. And in 1917, a brilliant idea flashed into our mind, and we decided to create the store and to promote Ukrainian fetish products worldwide.
I just want to add something. Yeah. So obviously it was 2017, and of course we sell at Passion Craft Store not only leather goods, we also produce ourselves shibari ropes and wax play candles. We also have a number of restraining devices. So, and this small business is really our attempt to gather something beautiful and something really useful for people in this one small area, and just to give the instruments to people to express themselves, to express their desires. That's what
that's amazing. That's part of what I'm doing over here in the United States. I'm in Florida, and creating the show to raise awareness that there are different products, different philosophies, lifestyles, and spiritual quests that people go on when they go through this BDSM or sex positive style of expression. Did you say are you creating any of the products yourself?
Oh yes, we make the ropes ourselves. So the ropes for shibari, both for floor shibari and for suspensions. We also make wax play candles. So these are low temperature candles, safe for wax play. And that's all that we make ourselves. And of course we have a couple of partners and a couple of just friends who are into leather accessories. So we are really proud to have them as our manufacturer partners. And that's how we have leather accessories at our store.
And you said you started in 2017, so that's 3 years ago. Are you doing this full time now?
Yes, first it was just, I don't know, just was a small attempt to make something, to try to see how it works. We started on Etsy, and we still have an online shop there, but now we have also our own online store at passioncraftstore.com. And we started only with ropes and a couple of classic whips. And here and there we tried new materials, new designs, and now we're here where we are.
Yeah, that's fantastic. 3 years to make a profitable business is a pretty quick turnaround time. Where did you start meeting the people to collaborate with and partner with?
So at first, how it all started. We stumbled upon these shibari ropes, beautiful shibari ropes, and decided to buy a couple of them and try something. And I got acquainted with the maker of that ropes, and she's a very pleasant young woman, and she was also into this shibari thing. And I thought that the BDSM theme is not really well developed here in Ukraine, and there was like almost nothing on social media. So it's more like you get acquainted with someone, and then they introduce you to the online community, which is really close. And in time, 3 years later, we now have these big BDSM communities here, for example, in big cities. In Kiev is our capital city, and other big cities, and we have BDSM parties. So when you enter this community, you just get acquainted here and there, and you can ask people where do they buy their devices. As people here who are into BDSM, they strive to find something really of a good quality, and this is usually something handmade. So that's why how we found our partners, most of them.
Great. Yeah. I'm currently in that system right now, looking online right now as the COVID-19 is upon us, and things are sort of shut down because it's not like there's a lot of people playing right now with partners here in the United States to meet these craftsmen online, and finding the people who have online presence. I know there must be a larger community out there. I mean, it's probably within hand's reach, but it's very difficult to create the personal attention or get face to face right now. So creating those connections online, introducing myself to other creators and other promoters. It's a fun journey. People are really open to the idea of talking about it. So we've talked about your business, and you guys are lovers and have each other's support. Do you have a large support structure around facilitating new ideas, new ways of expressing yourself currently in our time of isolation, or are you feeling that isolation in the Ukraine?
So speaking about isolation, I think that this is quite a good time, an opportunity for everybody just to calm down and to get into yourself, and just to really think about what you really like, what you are into, without interfering from the outer world. So I think in some ways it is quite good for people. On the other hand, so if you are isolated alone, it could be quite challenging to be alone. So I'm a happy one. I am isolated with my husband. So I'm not bored, and we have all the time and all opportunities to just investigate the depths of our sexual life.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite good time for me. And what about you, Igor?
So I agree, as the isolation is a good time to be with your thoughts, with your close people. And in one way you are isolated, but in another way, due to the internet and all of those communities, you become closer to another people. So, for example, I talked to people that I little communicated for some time ago, and now we became closer. So,
So yeah,
Oh,
getting reconnected or connecting with your online community and strengthening relationships that are closest to you, like your husband, you and your husband, and strengthening relationships that are that you've fallen out of touch with. It does give a lot of time for that, which is great. I'm glad you're having a good experience. There are other people out there that I know are suffering, especially people whose outlets are large events, um, or these larger fetish or festivals, events that will not be happening this year, and to give strength and opportunity a chance, or like this isolation a chance to strengthen your personal connections with the people that are closest to you.
yeah, this is the greatest minus for me, that there are no parties, no festivals, so that they are online, but online party is not the same that a real life party. So
Yeah,
yes, this is the only thing I am struggle a little bit about.
yeah, I really wanted to go to Burning Man, the Big Burn this year, which
Mhm.
would have been in August, and now no Big Burn. Hopefully it'll come back next year. I don't know. It's sort of a scary time for that festival, and but out of change, out of these things comes change and innovation. Um, and you were saying, Igor, that you were getting into yourself and starting to examine inside and looking who you are. Do you have a personal philosophy that allows you to express yourself freely in this BDSM or sexuality world?
So philosophy is a rather complicated term, and I don't want to speak in such terms. So I'd rather say that I started to explore myself for several years. So I do some meditation techniques, some yoga exercises, and so on. And on isolation, it was a very good time to do it once again, to do it deeper. So I have more time in the morning, in the evening, where I could sit and look into myself. So, and also in Ukraine, there are online translations of yoga, and I attended some of them, and so had good practice with several hundred people online, and it is very interesting to have one practice for many people.
Yeah, there's something to say about that transcended consciousness, that when you are meditating and that a lot of people are doing it at the same time, that you don't really need to be as close as you would assume to still feel that sort of effect of connection.
Mm-hmm.
I keep forgetting your name and it's not written down. Anita?
Alicia.
Alicia. Oh God, it's crazy. I need notes. I need paper.
Oh,
Alicia.
sorry, I have it just, I think it's not in English.
No, it's not, and I'm like looking for it. I'm like, no name tag. And how are you doing with this time creating that philosophy or the spirituality, developing that during this time?
I have quite interesting attitude, not interesting, I just say a quite simple attitude to life. I think that my personal philosophy is just be kind to people, be kind to yourself. Don't restrain people's freedom, and just let them be themselves, and let yourself be yourself. That's all. I think that the utmost necessity of every person is freedom, and it's great. It's of great value for me. And speaking about something about spirituality, I'm not quite decisive about what philosophy to choose. I just think that um, Spinoza's philosophy is quite close for me. The thing about the whole world itself is just something that is the one, and it is just constantly trying to learn something about itself. So we are all the one. That's just what works for me.
Yeah, that's great. I watched this interesting YouTube video called "The Egg." If you've ever heard of "In a Nutshell" or Kazakhstan, there's a YouTube channel. It's really interesting, very interesting, and they have this episode called "The Egg," and it's talking about how humanity is this is a larger consciousness egg. So there's a life form that everyone is, and people are experiencing themselves inside this incubation and once all of the experiences are experienced, then the egg will hatch into like a godlike figure or a oneness style of figure. So if you're interested in that style of philosophy, I would highly recommend that episode. It's like 10 minutes, and it's
Okay,
it's pretty
pretty interesting.
interesting. It's a very interesting look of these constantly seeing reflections of ourselves and giving the opportunity to experience someone else as seeing a reflection of yourself makes this kindness and self-expression, this authenticity easier to manifest inside yourself when you're seeing it in other people, seeing this connection that we have with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and after talking to quite a few people now, the the underlying philosophy of being authentic or being yourself and letting other people be themselves, I think is being cultivated by these practitioners in the BDSM world who allow themselves to be authentic. I'm sure that you have seen many people expressing themselves to the fullest, and it does inspire another person or the people around them to experience it, to try to express themselves fully as well.
Yes, I can fully agree to that because here in Ukraine, a lot of people have a stereotype that BDSM is something that's about pain, inflicting pain, or about making somebody a slave. But visiting any BDSM event, you can see that this is a very free, very pleasant, and very tolerable society space, and it's very comfortable to be around these people. So you feel respected.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the play that happens inside BDSM is trust, is cultivation of trust. When I have not been in a situation where I felt comfortable enough to be restrained, but I know that other people have had that experience where they get to surrender and trust another person or people to take care of them while they are incapacitated. And it does that sort of, those trust exercises must bleed into your reality outside of those play sessions. How about your experience with trust and creating and the cultivation of trust?
Thinking about myself, I'm mostly into shibari. I tried both roles, and rigor and the bottom role, and I think I'm more into the top role. I love restraining people with the rope, but this is a very complex feeling, a very complex game, and it is very individual. So it depends very much on the person who is with you, on the person's expectations and needs. So first of all, of course, it's the matter of trust. So the person trusts you with their life, because it's quite it can be dangerous. So, and they trust you with helping them to fulfill their desires. So some people need just to be restrained fully and have no possibility to move. Others need some gentle touches. Others need some pain, and others need some care. So I think that like any other BDSM game, Shibari is very versatile. And first of all, of course, it's about trust.
Yeah.
And speaking about me, so I like breathe play, erotic asphyxiation. So, and when you play with a person, it is very important that that the person trusts you. So, and it is important to feel that person and not to cause her death. So, and this moment of feeling where it is enough or not enough in asphyxiating, so it is important. So it is not only important to trust, but to feel as well.
Yeah, and the goal of this conversation right now is to humanize these games and to move the general thought of going from this filth or this like BDSM of pain and torture and like this depiction to the reality that it is this philosophical, spiritual, connected game where you grow as a person when you play. And it's not a selfish game. It's the opposite. It's a game that's inclusive and allows people to grow inside their communities. And I think that's a very important. I saw something recently, like a meme that said, because there's all these riots going on, you know, get the BDSM community involved, and when they get hit by a rubber bullet, they'll ask for more. And I was just like, fuck, man, that's a little too. This like public view of what's going on is skewed to the point of thinking that like people want to get shot in the face with rubber bullets. It's a little unnerving for me as I'm trying to create a body of work that shows that that's not what it is. It's more of like this compassion between people and that connection between people and the cultivation of connection. I know for myself that going through life with a broader spectrum of being inside of this culture allows me to speak to more people, to connect with more people, to be in that space of quietness and sitting in that the space of being in the unknown until you get to know someone that I didn't have before doing this work. Do you see that the BDSM or that your sex positive culture is moving into the day-to-day interactions?
I think that being into BDSM helps me accept people how they are. So it gives me the understanding that people are very different. They have very different thoughts, feelings, desires, and they all have the right to feel what they feel. And I totally agree that in white public, BDSM has not a very good face, and most people who don't know about it, they think that it's something about pain, and they focus more on the techniques. But I think that such shows like you do should show people that this is really about spirituality and connection between partners. So and it's totally unselfish, because the bottom partner gives themselves totally to the top partner, and the top partner gives also their full attention to the bottom partner. So it's like this constant interaction, and all these techniques, these devices, these kinds of games is just instruments of communication. So I'm much more open to people, and I love hearing their stories and knowing more and more about the versatile world around me.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That was so eloquent. I really like that. These are the instruments. Um, and we'll go to Igor on the same question, and then we'll start wrapping up the show. Because there's more than one person, I only have 40 minutes to be on the Zoom call. So do you see that your that playing in the BDSM space has come and bled into your day-to-day actions, that it is developing you as a person or an individual?
Of course, because being in BDSM relationship means to be responsible for your partner and for yourself. So, and I think this responsibility is the main development that that you can choose, or how to say.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. One last question for both of you. Do you have a piece of content, literature, movie, TV show that was the first instant that you can remember having your sexual awakening to, or that you saw that and you said, okay, I can be into that? And that could be like anything from a cartoon to real sex talk, or something that you saw on the street, just like a sign that you saw or something like that, that you can remember.
I think for me, something that led me to being sex positive was ancient Greek myths. They described really versatile love lives of ancient gods. For example, Zeus had a very, very interesting and very energetic love life. And reading that myths helped me understand that love can be different. It can be this or that way, and it's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. I really enjoyed that one. And Igor?
Mhm. And in my early childhood, I found the book Emmanuel by Emmanuel Arson. So, and when I read it, I understand that there could be a lot of interesting sex things. And later, also in my childhood and a little bit later, I liked the movies such Basic Instinct, Eyes Wide Shut, Secretary, movies by Andrew Blake, and I think these movies provoked development of sexuality.
Yeah, and I think that's an important thing for people to hear, is that these sexual themes come from not a place of an adult bookstore or porn online, but do come from sometimes they come from like a more innocent place, or learning in school about Greek gods, or reading a book and allowing your young mind to develop in that way, in that progressive way, to create these desires. So we're gonna wrap up the show. If you guys would like to shout out anything that you're currently working on, who you're currently working with, to get the listeners to support you.
We welcome everybody to our passioncraftstore.com online store. We always have discounts for first purchases. And also we have a lot of exclusive stuff, very beautiful stuff, both in leather and wax. And of course, we are open for any custom orders. So if you have something in your mind and you want to create something unique, we'll be happy to help you. So welcome.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. This is my first European show, and I just had someone from Australia. So we're really going worldwide.
Wow.
with the showcase, and the Zoom calls are really making the accessibility go rapidly up. I think that was one of the biggest things for me out of the pandemic, is the ease of use, or to understand the ease of use of using mobile meetings to create content. My name is Alexander Schettino. This is Shh, Don't Tell My Mom, a web series brought to you by theislandoftaboo.com, and I am the host and director of theislandoftaboo.com. Come visit us and have a wonderful day. Have fun. Play well. Play hard.